Hello everybody, welcome to my stream. Tonight I'm going to play D-Space D-6. Go ahead and put it right there for all to see. Deep Space D6. All right, let's get this party started. So, gonna be playing on fast mode, medium difficulty level. I'll go ahead and shuffle the cards. Tonight I'm moving my dice tray to the left-hand side, covering up some of the upgrades. I don't think it's a big deal. I'll let you know. This is Shatter Minds. This one here. Probably can't see it because of the Empire logo. And next to it is the Advanced Tactics. Just going to be easier for me to draw cards. I found it very difficult having it here. It's also more visible on the dice roll, so I think that's a better placement of the dice tray. Hopefully you guys will find it okay. Welcome one viewer. I hope you're doing okay tonight. I'm just shuffling my cards. And I'm going to just playing it on medium mode, so I will discard, I'm playing it on fast mode, so discarding 8 cards, and I'll have 3 Don't Panics mixed in there. So the first one is Distracted, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there should be 3 more Don't Panics in the deck. I've already shuffled them, so I don't need to reshuffle. We are playing with the Halcyon Starfighter. Apparently it is decommissioned in favor of the, what's the name of the ship? It's the 2nd level ship. We'll go ahead and set the hull to 8. Power up the shields to 4. Still battling this cold. Starting the game, we draw 2 threats. So let's see what they are. A space pirate does -2 hull if you roll a 3 or a 6. And a boarding ship, if you roll a 3 or a 4, does -2 hull, and it sends your tactical officer a single tactical send to infirmary. No, it looks like maybe all tactical officers. I'm not sure if that's a single or all. Well, we'll tackle that as we go. So let's go ahead and roll our dice. See how this dice tray layout does for us? Yep, you can see all of those. So I don't think I'm going to move my dice. I was putting them down here, but you can see them pretty easily in the dice tray. So I'll assign them from the dice tray into my ship as I see fit. Obviously I'm going to use all of my tactical officers. Not much I can do about that. So that's 1, and then 2, 4, 6, 7. So we have 7 damage. We'll do 4, 5, 6, and destroy our external threats. Now we have some options here. I always like Shatter Minds going first. Biotic Metlab is good too. Cloaking Field's alright. Biotic Metlab I always feel is a bit better, especially with this ship. So I think I'll just waste my science officer, but I will change I'll change my commander into an engineer and assign 1 to the Shattered Mines. I kind of like Bionic MetLab, that's why I'm holding out on that. I do like Cloaking Field too. What do you think I should do? Should I research Cloaking Field since I have an unused science officer? Okay, twisted my arm. We'll go ahead and assign Cloaking Field. I mean research Cloaking Field. Let's draw the threat. It is a 4 health flagship. Does -3 hull and on a 4, 5, and 6 die. Let's roll the die. The threat die. That's a 6. And he will do -3 hull. 1, 2, 3 on 1 shield. I can go ahead and grab my crew and roll. 1 threat detected. I put my threats here. Not bad. 1 engineer, 1 commander, 2 science officers, and a tactical officer. What do I do? Definitely gonna assign my tactical officer to damage the flagship, so 1 damage. He moves down to 3. I'll use my engineer to research Shatter Mines. Move that. We have a commander, and oh, I could have used these guys, my medical officers on Bionic MetLab. Too bad for me, I made a mistake. I'll use 1 of my medical officers to return a threat. Use my commander as a tactical officer and do 2 damage. Flagship is on 1 hull. And there's nothing to do with this this medical officer, so he will remain unassigned. Draw a threat. Comms offline. You may not assign commanders. I've got to use an engineer to repair that. Let's roll the threat die. 1. It does not activate the flagship, and comms offline. They're still offline. So they'll take my crew and roll. Ah, this would have been a brilliant roll. Brilliant roll. 5 commanders and 1 science. Or 1 medical officer. Oh, that would have been brilliant. But I can do nothing. Nothing. I cannot assign any of them. My comms are offline. I've got no engineer, and I can't do anything with my medical officer. So we'll just draw a threat. Terrible. It was a great roll, except for comms offline. So we got a Crosshair. -2 hull if you roll a 4, 5, or 6. we will roll the threat die. It is a 5. So both the flagship and Crosshair activate. -3 + 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On 4 hull. This is actually not going well. Not going well. More than half of my total health has been destroyed in the first few turns. Okay, so we'll use my engineer and turn off comms, or fix the comms offline problem. Repaired it. So, engineer's been assigned. Now I can actually assign commanders. That was a medical officer. Not much I can do with medical officers. That's why I could have probably had Bionic MetLab if I hadn't gone for Cloaking Field. Maybe I should have switched research tracks. I will use my science team, science officers to stasis. So that will mean the Crosshair flagship cannot activate. Well, do I do that? Actually, I'll recharge one shield. Change the commander to a tactical officer and blow up the flagship. And my medical guys, I think I'm going to switch my research track to Bionic MetLab. So 1, 2. Should have did that last turn. Now we will draw a threat. 2 Raiders. -1 hull. Ignore shields. Okay, let's roll for threats. 1. Ah, -1 hull. Down to 3 hull. Well, at least I've got my full team working. Crap. I just... Sorry. I rolled the die off the table. Technical difficulties. It's actually in a place it's hard to get to. Pardon this interruption. I have to get a dice that's rolled underneath the desk, a cabinet. Oh, this is not good. Technical difficulties. That's a deck. My massive apologies on that. I need to be more careful when I roll the die. I'm going to check my camera because I know that's moved a bit. Yep, it's definitely rotated. Okay, roll this dice. Sorry about that, guys and girls. So, threat assigned. I will be more careful. 3 science officers and 2 commanders. And look at this, I could use those on cloaking field. Back and forth, back and forth. I'm not going to do that though. I will assign my commanders to as tactical officers, so that's 3 damage. We'll blow up raiders. and do 1 damage to Crosshair, Science Officer to Stasis, and then recharge the shields times 2. 1, 2. Draw a threat. Yay, that's a good card. Rescue Telepath. Discard to look at the next 5 cards of the threat deck. I have to use a medical officer before to unlock that card. There's no point in rolling the threats because I've stasised the Crosshair. So we will roll dice. Another threat. We've got 2 medical officers and we will use them to return our threat attacks. So that leaves us with the commander. I'll use my tactical officer and blow up the Crosshair. I can heal, or I could upgrade my Shatter Mind. I think I need to heal. So I will change my commander to an engineer and heal 1 full. Draw a external threat. It's a fighter. Does 1 damage if I roll a 2 or a 4. 6. I'm in the clear, so I get my full battery back. It's looking better. 1 commander, 2 medical officers, 1 tactical, 1 science, and 1 engineer. We'll spend a tactical on firing lasers at the fighter and blow it up. I think I spend the medical officers on researching Bionic MetLab. Let's go 1, 2. And spend the engineer on finishing off the Bionic MetLab. Why not? So we've completely researched Bionic MetLab. For those of you that don't know, a Bionic MetLab, once per round, you may return 1 unit from the infirmary during step 6. It's really nice. I like that upgrade card. So I'm left with a commander and a science officer. I'll use the science officer to recharge my shields to full capacity. I'll spend my commander on repairing my hull. So that gives me 2 because I've used 1 already. So we'll go up to 6. Draw the threat. Orbital cannon. -2 hull. Cannot be damaged unless it is the only threat. It's great that I pulled this now because I have an opportunity to actually kill it. There's no other threats. Rescue Telepath is not a threat, internal or external. Sorry. I need to roll for damage. So threat die. 6 does nothing. Gotta roll a 3. Now I can roll my crew die. Not bad. I'll use my tactical officer and assign it to lasers and shoot the orbital cannon. Blow it up. So we're left with 2 medical officers, 2 engineers, and a science officer. What do? I think I'll research Shatter Minds because those are very powerful. So I'll assign my engineer, both engineers, to Shatter Minds. So that is done. Shatter Mind's awesome. Place above the threat deck. The next external threat is immediately defeated. It's pretty sweet. But if you get an internal threat, it doesn't blow them up. So now we're left with 2 medical officers and a science officer. I'll spend my science officer on researching cloaking fields. And my medical officers will be left unassigned. Draw a threat. That's an internal threat, Time Warp. If you roll a 2, all threats recover 1 health. Okay. Let's roll, it doesn't matter. If I roll a 2, did roll a 2, there's no external threats. So he doesn't recover health, and internal threats don't have health. Let's roll our crew dice. The tactical officers do nothing because I can't shoot anything. I will spend my 2 science officers on Time Warp. So spend them, discard Time Warp. And I will use an engineer on repairing my hull. Let's draw a threat. Strike Bomber. If I roll a 2 or a 4, -1 hull, and I send a unit to the infirmary. Let's go ahead and roll for the threat. 4. -1, so 1 to the damage, and we'll take a tactical officer and throw him in the infirmary. Now, because I have Bonek MetLab, it says once per round you may return 1 unit from the infirmary during step 6. It is step 6, and I will return them. So now I get to gather my crew and roll. A lot of medical officers. 4 of them. 2 tactical. Spend my 2 tactical for 3 damage on the striker. He's dead. I'll spend a medical on rescuing the telepath, so that card will be available for me to use. I'll place it just here. Because it is now acquired. And then my other medical guys, can't do anything with them. There's nothing to research. So we'll draw a threat. 4 hull hijackers. Or roll a 4 or 5 -2 hull. Let's go ahead and roll for that threat. 5 damage. Rolled a 5, so -2 hull. That's 2 shields. 1, 2. Roll for my crew. Not terrible. Not rolling threats is good. Threat detects. 2 engineers, 1 medical, and 3 tactical. Well, let's spend... This is 3 damage, so I get hijackers down to 1. I'm just wondering if I should use a shatter mine on the next target. Let's do that. So I'll spend a tactical and an engineer on shatter mine. So they're spent. Oh wait, let's not do that just yet. Let's hold off on that assignment and spend our telepath. So we'll discard this and we'll look at the 5 next cards. I leave them out. So a fighter, a strike bomber, an assault cruiser, another fighter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And a nebula for the 5. I'm going to leave them out. You can do as you... The instructions say you can look at them and then put them back in, but my memory isn't that great to memorize all 5 of them. There's no need for me to memorize it. I'm playing a single player game, so I just leave them out. Just have to remember to draw from that pile instead of the normal one. So, I think it's not worth killing the fighter. It's better to kill the hijacker. So Shatter Mine I'd rather take 1 whole damage than 2. So I'll spend my tactical on this to do 2 damage on the hijacker, and he's dead. So spend an engineer on repairing that. Do I like Gauss Cannon? Is it worth a roll threat die? I've never really used it. Gravity Nuke is actually a bit better. I can do nothing with a medical officer. He will be unassigned. Go ahead and research Gauss Cannon. Just move it there. Draw the next threat, which is a fighter, we know. And roll. 6. No damage. Let's roll our crew dice. 1 threat detected. Immediately sign it up there. 3 science officers, which is good if I'm researching cloaking field. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's research our cloak field with 3. 1, 2, 3. I think we'll change our commander into a tactical officer and blow up the fighter. No need to keep him around. And our medical officer does nothing yet again. Draw our threat, which is a strike bomber, -1 hull, and send a unit to the infirmary. Not a big deal because we have bionic method. 6 does not activate any threats. Let's go ahead and roll our crew die. Okay, so we rolled 2 threat detects. We have to assign the assault cruiser. That's unfortunate. I would have really liked to bomb them or mine them, but don't quite have the dice for that. I think I'll spend my science officers on stasising them, using my stasis beam. And my engineer will research cloaking field. Draw the threat, which is a fighter. And we'll be rolling just for the fighter because I've used stasis beam on the other 2. 2 -1 hull. But I am back to full capacity on my crew. Let's roll. That's a good roll. Very nice. 3 tactical officers. I definitely will spend them because Nebula is going to kill my shields anyways, so that's 5 damage. So it's 4 or 5. We will kill the assault cruiser for 4 damage and the fighter for 5. Now I'm left with the science officers. There's no reason to repair my shields. I'll spend my engineer upgrading cloaking fields. Use 1 stasis on strike bomber and there's no point in repairing the shield. They're going to go offline right away. Oh well, I'll repair the shield. I know it's going to go offline. So when Nebula comes out, my shields go offline. Pew! Science officer was like, but I just repaired the shields! Oh, hold on. Yep. So now we roll the die. Roll the threat die. 5. That does 1 damage to the nebula. -1 nebula health. When destroyed, shields are offline or online again. That's cool. Got all my crew members back. Let's go ahead and roll. Yeah, 1 threat detected. Not bad. 2 commanders, 2 science officers, and an engineer. I'll use my engineer on completing the cloaking fields. So now we have a cloaking field. It means you don't roll threats. If I didn't roll any, excuse me, the external internal threats do not get to roll their dice as long as I assign a science engineer and do not assign any tactical officers. So we will use a science officer to stasis the strike bomber. And hold on. Let's use my commanders as tactical. That's 2 damage. Blows up the strike bomber. 1 damage to the nebula. My shields go back online. And now I spend my science officers and recharge shields too. Pandemic. If I roll a 1, send a unit to the infirmary. Not a big deal. But it is a internal threat. Let's roll the threat die. It's a 3. No, nothing. Let's roll my 5 crew. See how we do. 2 science officers, 1 engineer, 1 medical, and 1 tactical. Let's see, what do we do? I would like to spend my medical officer on retrieving him, so I will use the science officer on getting rid of the pandemic. So we'll spend a engineer and tactical on a shattered mine. So that will be in play, and I'll use 1 science officer to recharge shields. Let's draw the threat. Hopefully it's external. It is external, and it's a big one. The assault cruiser is immediately destroyed thanks to our shatter mine. Shatter mines are literally the bomb. And then we get to roll all of our crew. There's no point in rolling the threat die because there are no internal or external threats. Two tactical officers that do nothing, 1 threat detected, 2 medical officers, and an engineer. I don't really care about Gauss Cannon. I'll spend the tactical and engineer on another shatter mine. Can I do anything with my medical team? Nothing. So I'll leave all of those dice unassigned and draw a threat. It is a space pirate. It blows up thanks to the mines. No reason to roll threat dice. So I've quickly come back. In the early part of the game, we were struggling pretty harshly with less than half full. Okay, might have spoken too soon. Roll 2 threats. Gives me 3 threats, so I have to... Don't panic! That's what I have to do. Lucky. 2 medicals and 1 commander. I do like advanced tactics. It's better than the Gauss cannon. It means I can re-roll stuff. I'm gonna spend the commander and research advanced tactics, level 1. And my medical team does nothing. Let's draw a threat. Oh, lucky me! Friendly fire. Immediately send all tactical officers to the infirmary, then discard. Guess what? No tactical officers were assigned. Again, no reason to roll because there's no threats. We have 2 tactical officers, 2 engineers, 1 medical officer, and a commander. What do we do? Shadow mines are nice. Be nice to it. Let's just research. I don't need to do too much else. I'll spend a commander on advanced tactics, bump that up. I'll spend 2 of my engineers on Gauss cannon. 2. The medical officer and the tactical officers do nothing. Let's draw a threat. Panel explosion. You may not assign engineers, and you got to use the medical team to fix that problem. Now, how is the medical team going to fix a panel explosion? I don't know. Maybe they use their fancy tricorder to repair it. Don't know. No reason to roll threat die again because guess what? Panel explosion doesn't have any effect when you roll the threat die. Okay, we'll roll our crew dice, see what we get. Not great. 2 threats detected. That means I only have 4 functional die. 2 commanders. Usually there's only room for 1 commander on the bridge, but we'll make an allowance. I will spend my science guy on a cloaking field and use my commanders to research advanced tactics. 2. And I will leave this unassigned because of cloaking field. So let's draw the threat. It's a crochet. I'm cloaked, so I don't roll the threat die because they can't see me. And we will roll our crew dice. Only 4 this time. Not great. 3 science and a... So I'll use one of my science on a cloaking field. Still have 1 left on advanced tactics. I cannot assign engineers, so he is out. So my science officers will just repair a shield. And we'll draw a threat. That's a good one. So now I have 2 things that require medical officers. No need to roll threat die because I am cloaked. Two commanders, 1 engineer, and a science. I really feel like I could kill the crocheter. I will change 1 commander to a medical officer and discard the panel explosion. I still feel like I'm not going to attack, so I'll use my cloaking field again. Spend the other commander again on medical on the rescue soldier. So I acquire that in my toolbox. And engineer, I will spend that researching Gauss cannon. Let's draw a threat. Oops. Nothing happens. Don't panic. Still only on 4 crew dice. There we go. We get all of our guys back. 3 threats. It is a mercenary. If no threats activated this round, -2 hold. That is terrible. So I have to deal with that. Looks like I'll be taking a -2 hull regardless of what I do. I could throw a shatter mine out there hoping to take down, because I can't actually kill those guys. What does stasis do? To stasis, let me look at the doco on stasis. I wonder if I could stasis this. Place the assigned science die on any external threat. This threat cannot activate during the threat activation phase. I don't think this needs to activate though. Normally activation, if no threats activated this round, -2 hold. I feel like I could stasis the mercenary. What does activate mean though? Under the Rule 5 threat phase, roll the threat die. Activate all threats that match the face of the threat die. Threats are activated from top to bottom, left to right, starting with all internal threats, then external threats. If your ship's hull reaches 0, your ship is destroyed and you lose. Now, I think if I read it as it's written, activation means about rolling dice, and his condition isn't dependent on him, you know, being able to roll dice. So stasis does not work on him. That's what I'm gonna rule as. I think I'm gonna change my commander to an tactical officer and use a shatter mine. And my science officer will do nothing. Unfortunately, let's draw a threat. Invaders, send a unit to the... Oh, if you do roll a 2 or a 4, you send a unit. Well, if I activate that, it's not terrible. Shatter mines don't work. Let's roll the threat die. 6! -2 hull. 1, 2, that does not activate. At least I'm now back at full crew. Let's roll. Alright, let's do some damage here. That was a... So 2 tactical officers do 3 damage. Let's take out the mercenary. Don't like the mercenary. So now we have some options. I think we spend a science officer on cloaking field, so we don't need to roll threats. Get the other 2 science officers to repair our shields, 1, 2, and the last engineer to research Gauss cannon. So Gauss cannon, what does it do? If you roll 1 tactical officer, or if you assign 1 tactical officer to the Gauss cannon, it does a 4 damage if you roll a 1 or a 2. If you assign 2 tactical officers, if you roll 1 through 4, you do 4 damage. So it does 1 better damage than this. This only gives me 3 damage. So but you have a chance of failing that if you roll a 5 or a 6. But if you just have 1, it's pretty good because you do 4 damage for 1. It's worth it. Let's draw the threat. Solar Wind. So this I can't kill, I just have to roll a 2, and whenever a 2 comes up, -5 whole. 5. Sorry, I shouldn't have rolled because I have cloaking device, so I don't roll. I really don't like Solar Wind. It's something that it's hard, especially if it comes up when you're playing against the boss. One threat detected. 2 tactical officers, a commander, and an engineer and science officer. It's a pretty good split. We could do this. We could sign. I mean, I could kill the Crozier outright. Let's go ahead and use a Shatter Mine. And the reason is I'm gonna go for. Do I go for it? I could still do 3 damage. Nothing else I really want to do with them. I think we will assign 1 tactical and change the commander to tactical. 3 damage, blows up the Crozier. That's the better call. Can't do anything with my science officer, so leave him unassigned. Let's draw. Cosmic existentialism must be completed before assigning any other science crew. Requires a science crew. Let's roll the threat die. 2. That's good. I want to get it out of the way. -5 whole, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Discard it. Invaders, send a unit to the infirmary. Didn't say which unit. Send a tactical officer. And because of the biotic met lab, we'll return them. Then we get to roll. I'm going to use my rescue soldier and discard to reroll all threats detected. Not bad. Can I get rid of... So I'll use my science officer on existentialism. Have to. That's discarded. I'll use my engineer and tactical officer on a Shatter Mine. Yeah, still not happy with the placement of the dice tray. Figure something out next time, maybe. Engineer and medical person. Can't do anything with them. I'll leave them unassigned. Good. External threat. Shield platform. Protects external threats. It is blown up with my Shatter Mine. I might also consider reducing the deck down by 13 cards. I think that's what the designer of the game recommended for his demo games. Sometimes they go on a little bit longer, longish. Okay, let's roll the threat die. 4, send a guy to the infirmary, but he comes back. Let's roll my crew. He comes back because of the bionic met lab. Oh, dropping dice. Dropping dice. Threat detected. 2 science officers, a commander, and a medical officer. I'm going to research advanced tactics. You want to know what advanced tactics does? I'll tell you. Advanced tactics. During step 1, you may re-roll your crew up to 2 times. You must keep any threats that are rolled. That's good. I like that. And I have it, so I can actually re-roll my dice if I need. But I will spend a medical officer on returning a threat detected. I will spend a science officer on cloaking field. The other science officer is going to repair shields. It's a strike bomber. No need to roll. Well, I can't roll threat dice because I am cloaked. So I roll my crew. I have 5 out of the 6 upgrades. I'm not crazy about gravity nuke. Not crazy about gravity nuke. Threat detected. Commander, 2 science officers, and a medical officer. Spend the medical officer on returning. I've got 2 science officers. I feel like I will spend 1 on the cloaking field and change my commander to a science officer and repair shields. Draw a threat. I'm cloaked, so they cannot shoot me. Let's roll. Oh, 2 threats detected. All right. 2 threats detected. That brings out a threat. Meteoroid. -1 meteoroid health. When destroyed, 5 hull. Between meteoroid and solar wind, I'll tell you. So what are we doing? I need damage. I could still stasis. Cloaking field. Repair shields. Engineer will do nothing. I'll re-roll engineer. I've got 1 more re-roll. Does that... I'll start researching gravity nuke. Why not? Got nothing else to do. Don't want to chance it. Draw a threat. Raiders. I need to start doing damage because I can't just keep cloaking forever. If I don't damage, I will be in big trouble with the boss. There's only, looks like 2 threats left. Ah! This is really bad. Destroyer. Okay. Let's do some damage. Those get returned. I have to re-roll them. Reroll. I think I'm gonna spend that on Gauss Cannon. I need 4 damage. I need it desperately. So, 4. Come on, 1 through 4. Let's make it the right roll. Yes! So 4 damage. We will destroy a destroyer, because that's -3. And the strike bomber, because it sends a unit to the infirmary. And now we draw our last threat. Nothing. Once the threats have been depleted, the Ouroboros comes out, which is the boss. Oh, this is actually very bad. Barrier, attack matrix, 2-hole, Hydrokin. So a barrier, I have to kill that before I attack anything else. It protects the Ouroboros, not the other guys. Missile array, hydro cannons. That's going to be off the board a bit. And the core. Wow. So this is really bad for me because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 external threats and 1 internal threat. And we need to roll the die, the threat die. This could be devastating. I could be severely damaged here. Let's see what happens. 6. Send a unit to the infirmary. Anything else proc? Raiders, -1 hull, ignore shields. Nothing else. Attack matrix says, well, active, roll the threat die 2 times. Second time. 5. I know 5 has some effects. Barrier recharges the shield. Interceptor, -1 hull. That goes onto my shields. Nothing else happens. Okay, we kind of got by on that pretty easily. Step 6, return because of Vidoc Net Lab, so I am on 5 crew. I can do this. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Let's do it. 1 threat. We'll keep those. I need damage. We need damage. Let's repair. Let's re-roll these 2 with the advanced tactics. Re-roll them again. Okay, so I will spend. That was an engineer. Spend an engineer on repairing my hull. Probably leave this guy unassigned. These guys are going to be I really want the. I'm going to use the Gauss Cannon. Tactical officers, both on Gauss Cannon. Come on, do me right, do me right, do me right, do me right. No! Whiffed! He powered up the Gauss Cannon and boom, boom, boom! Whiffed! That's bad. That's bad. Okay. Gauss Cannon failed me on that. I could have at least taken down the barrier in 1 attack. But really, I wanted... It doesn't matter. Let's roll the threat, see what happens. I gotta roll twice. 2. Send a unit to the infirmary. -1 hull. 2, 2, 2, 2. -2 hull, that's on the Hydro Cannon. Probably didn't see that. So -2 hull. I'm done with my shields. Now we roll again. For the attack matrix, while active, roll the threat dice 2 times. 3. -1. -2 hydro cannons. 1, 2. And nothing else. Oh. Sorry, I need to spend my medical officer on returning him. Recharge my shield, and I'm gonna do Gauss Cannon again. Tactical officers, Gauss Cannon, let's do it. Come on, 4! Gauss Cannon goes off. I will destroy the barrier, and it stays there, and destroy active matrix. So, discard the bosses here. The barrier is never discarded. If I roll a 5, it gets recharged. So at least I got rid of active matrix. That is pretty terrible. I'm still not in great shape. We're going to go ahead and roll. 4. Minus 3 hull and ignore shields. I might be dead. 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm on 2 hull. Raider has -1 and Interceptor -1. I'm dead, folks. Boom! Died. Ouch. Ugh. Man, I cannot win on this stream, huh? Whoa. Okay. Well, 1 game. That's it for me tonight. Maybe I'll try streaming again tomorrow night around the same time. We'll see how things go. Hope everyone enjoyed. Everyone have a nice evening. Goodbye.